Welcome to the Construction Show. I'm your host, Jared Downey. We have today, I'm going very radio sounding this morning. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, we are at the World of Concrete in Vegas today doing episodes. We've got Velocitor Solutions on the show, and we've got their VP of Sales, Rudy Nemith. And we also have Jim Becker. He is the VP of Product. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. How's Vegas treating you?
It's good. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's I'm always it's brave people that take the morning slot for filming episodes in Vegas.
Yeah.
We're on the East Coast, so luckily.
Yeah, so we've been up for hours.
Oh yeah, no, you're good to go then. Let's just start with Velocitor. Introduce who you are as a company. I see V-Track behind you. Maybe Rudy, let's just start with you. Give us a setup.
Yeah, so we're Velocitor Solutions. We've been around since 1999, so we've been at this very long time. We started off as a mobile software company, so we worked with a lot of different companies at that time that were really, the first into mobile computing. So we're taking a business process that was usually on paper when it comes to things like deliveries and, field service, folks out there doing works, and we put it onto a mobile computer. At that time, it was older technology. A lot of it wasn't wireless, but we basically gave companies the capability to do things like track their inventory, track their customer invoices, do everything that they need to do that they used to do on some sort of a work order. And we did it with a mobile device. And then all that data got transferred into usually some sort of an ERP system where it is used for billing, reporting, and different things. So couple of years into it, we had a lot of customer requests, and we're talking year 2006, 2007, where they're telling us we need GPS tracking. We need to know where our truck is. We need to know where our equipment is, and so on. So we added a GPS component to it that let you know exactly where everything is on top of the invoices. And then, a couple of years after that, the camera technology came out, right? So that was when you wanted a camera inside the vehicle and you wanted to see what is the driver doing? Where's my vehicle headed? So with that, we spun off V-Track into being its own product that gives you functionality such as fleet safety, the ability to have tons of reporting, right? So you know exactly where the truck went, what time they arrived and departed the customer. And then with the cameras into it, the safety aspect of it lets you know, is the driver doing the right thing? Are they on the phone? Are they actually there? Is it the right person driving the vehicle? So there's a ton of value that was created into our entire platform. We found that a lot of customers were using different solutions for all these things, right? So it was very compartmentalized, where you had this system for knowing where the truck is, another one knowing where the equipment is, something else for doing the invoices in the field. And we basically created a system that puts it all onto one platform. So you have one place to go, one place to see the information. On the back office of most companies, you had role-based access where folks could log in, and based on their role, they could see the the crews that they're responsible for, the employees that they're responsible for, and also the data that's part of it. And with that comes a ton of opportunity. So we have features like vehicle inspections, time and attendance, quite a bit of stuff to make a company really, really productive and do what they need to do.
I was snooping around on your LinkedIn, prepping for the show, and have you been with Velocitor for 20 years? 20 years, 1 month.
20 years, yeah. 20 years and 1 month, yeah. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, so that's quite a transformation. Basically you were there from the start? No.
Well, the company was about 4 years old when I joined. Yeah.
4 years old.
So 2004 is when I joined the company, is 99. So it's a couple years down the road.
So it's been quite that's quite a few iterations. So you're part of the sales. So have you been part of then rolling out these new features to existing clients, or is it always about getting into new markets? How do you take these new products into the market?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think, what I do is I go out there and work with companies and try to explain the value of the system. And we're always entering new markets, looking for new clients, looking for new folks that could benefit from this technology, right? And a lot of it's just understanding what they do and what they need and how they're currently doing it, and suggesting the correct, solutions and different pieces of what we offer to basically meet their needs, right? And that could be in different markets. We work quite a bit in with folks that are, in private trucking, proof delivery, transportation, logistics, Field service is a big market for us.
Mm.
So we're constantly out there talking to people, working folks, just like here at the construction show. We just actually had a gentleman come by today that had a very, very specific problem, right? So he had a very specific thing he wanted to address. He wanted to know where his vehicles are. He needed driver safety, but he also wanted to know where all his equipment is and how that goes into, their accounting and so on. So we spend a lot of time on that and just listening to folks and meeting the needs they have, and giving them exactly what they want, and then growing with them as their business transforms.
Let's talk about our Heavy Industry World Tour, brought to you by Savannah Equipment, supplying mining equipment worldwide. We are heading to events across North America and Australia and filming episodes on location. Email us at info@crownsman.com to be part of Crownsman's Heavy Industry World Tour. Studs and helmets use cutting-edge head protection components used previously only in extreme sports helmets, now utilized in both of Studson's Type 2 models. The SHK1 and SHK1 full brim models are the most innovative helmets on any job site. Offering a revolutionary combination of Koroyd and twice-me technologies, this Studson full brim helmet is the first of its kind in the Type 2 category, providing you with the protection and comfort you need to get the job done. Saving lives one helmet at a time. Studson, where safety meets innovation. You can visit them at studson.com to learn more. Reduce tire-related production interruptions and enhance vehicle safety with Doran tire monitoring systems designed for off-road, earth-moving, and industrial equipment. Real-time access to accurate, reliable tire pressure and temperature information helps operators and supervisors maximize equipment performance and tire life. Doran tire monitoring systems are designed to withstand extreme operation conditions while featuring simple installation and low maintenance. Visit doranmfg.com for more information on how Doran can help reduce equipment downtime and improve safety.
I want to stick with this 20 years thing for just a second, because and the reason I am is because I do a lot of interviews where people are introducing technology into the market, or it's been there, but they're expanding on the technology. And the thought, even in our company, trying to onboard new technology can be a quite stressful thing. It must be a huge advantage for you to have been there for that 20 years, that you actually understand the layers. So as people are asking questions, if you talk to someone who's worked with a company for, let's say, 2 years, you get about three questions in, they'll go, "I'll check back with you. I'll just leave that with me." That must be a huge advantage, especially at an event like World of Concrete, where they probably know their problem, and you need to be able to sort of answer it quick.
Yeah, so I think what I'll tell you on that is we look at all of our customers as partners, and part of having a good partnership with anybody is knowing them, and one of the things we do is we have good relationships with folks that know us, that work with us. And when you do something for a long time, and most of the customers that we have, we stick with. Even our new ones, we know we're going to be with them for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
We know that the business world changes, their business changes, their needs change, and being there and anticipating it and working with them throughout the time that they're working on their initiatives, it helps us help them address the things they need. So rather than saying, "Okay, we're here, we work with you, and we signed the deal, and then we're out the door," we're constantly collaborating with all of our customers from all levels, right? And this comes from sales, from our project management department that literally talks to our customers every day, that Jim heads. So it creates a very valuable proposition to all our clients. Jim, if you have any thoughts on that, on projects?
Yes, I would say, I think, the value with VTrack and our history of our software is we have clients that are on older generations of our software that we can bring up to the latest generation, and they can have pieces of it. So maybe we're doing their field services software today, and we're bringing it into VTrack for them. And then they may come to us a year later and say, "You know what, we're starting to really get interested in this driver safety. So let's talk about these cameras." And so they're already in the platform, and we can start adding these layers. And if they don't want a piece of it and don't need a piece of it, that's okay. We don't have to add it on for them. But that history, we're able to bring new enhancements to the market, and we have the project managers in place for those clients to be able to introduce them to them. And if they're not ready at that time, it's okay. But we're able to just bring that to the clients and offer that to them.
What is, as VP of product, Jim? What is sort of your role, your day to day, week to week, with the company?
So, it's interesting. I just started this role early or late last year. Moved in this role. I've been with the company 13 years now, but I was head of product management for VTrack before this. And really, my main role is just to drive our product roadmap and bring in the latest features and make sure they fit our customers' needs. Right. With the VP of product title, really what's changed in my role is now I oversee not just the product, but also our project services team where those project managers and product owners work. So we can have one cohesive team headed by me to work for that value for our customers.
When you see the orange iron of a Ditch Witch machine out in the field, you can be sure of one thing: a job is getting done. As the leading manufacturer of underground construction equipment, Ditch Witch has been a catalyst of innovation for the industry since the day they were founded. And with a worldwide and world-class dealership network that features over 175 dealerships across the globe, this equipment is backed by the best. Learn more at ditchwitch.com. L&H Industrial can custom engineer and build from the ground up any heavy equipment assembly or machine that you need for your operation. Their worldwide 24/7 field services network is on the job whenever you need heavy equipment troubleshooting, repairs, rebuilds, relocations, or replacements. And thanks to their specialized design and engineering and state-of-the-art manufacturing and repair services, they are a go-to international supplier for improved components and custom assemblies for heavy industrial machinery. Visit lnh.net to learn more. DMH manufactures CNC lathes for seal production, semi-finished materials for seal manufacturing, as well as machine seals. But they are much more than a seal manufacturer. They supply the technology for seal manufacturing in the form of machine seal software and tooling technology. Altogether, this allows the simple manufacturing of nearly every seal within the shortest amount of time. The products are also used in a wide range of industries such as mobile hydraulics, mining industry, heavy industry machinery, oil and gas, wind energy, renewable energy, aviation, food and pharmaceutical industry, transportation, and automotive industry. To learn more, you can visit them at dmh.at. Seal technologies of the future, already today.
How is it? Is there a challenge in integrating new features? Like if you're integrating, I was on your website, like the advanced camera system with the AI powered reporting. Um, Trying to integrate that into a new system, is that like how much time does that take? If you from the point A to point B to say, this is something clients are wanting, we're hearing about it, we want to deliver this to the market, to actually on clients are onboarding this. What is that process like?
I think that it's it's internal, so it's not as hard. I think for us, we're developing those products sometimes a year in advance
Mm,
and going through internal testing and then starting introducing it to a few clients for beta testing. We do a lot of integration with our customers or with third parties. That can take a little bit longer. But in reality, for us, it's all about planning. So if we get a client request, we really want to look at that request not for the client, but for the product. And
mm.
how can we make this, if one person needs it, it's probably that, there's other people could use that as well. So how do we make this so it's product centric and we can get more value from it? There are times where a client needs a specific thing for their business. And that's where we differ from a lot of our competitors because we will build that for them. But we're also going to try to make it so it does fit for others and still meet their needs.
And I think I'd add to that is, a lot of the technology we have and a lot of functions, customers may take advantage all of it, or sometimes they're not ready for some of it, right? Like I'll give you a specific example. We'll work with companies that, are dealing with unions or dealing with their own internal legal requirements and so on. And they may tell us, okay, so those are good features. We're glad to know you have them, but we're not quite ready for them. We're going to look at this next year or the year after, and then as we enhance those things and we keep them informed of where it's at, they come to us and say, okay, we have this request internally that came in. We need a specific feature. I'll give you an example: stop sign detection, right? So our system can detect if a driver runs a stop sign. Some folks really make a lot of use of that. Others, they're like, that's interesting, but we don't need that just yet. So we will deploy those based on our clients' needs at the appropriate time.
Out of these, sort of walking through these, so I see the fleet management, the in-cab video with AI. What is sort of is there a central one though? Like the fleet management, is that sort of where everybody starts and then they add on? Or are some people just going, they want the GPS telematics?
Yeah. I think at this point, a lot of folks are really interested in cameras. And
Yeah.
we're seeing it here at the show. We're talking to everyone, and what they're telling us is, yeah, we're already tracking our trucks through GPS, but the big thing that we need is video.
Yeah.
So when you come in, when you work in an organization and that's not in your company today, you're going to get a lot of pushback, right? And people come and say, well, but then, you got the whole privacy thing and Big Brother's watching and so on. But we really explain to folks that our systems are there as a driver tool, not necessarily to see what they're doing, but they're driver tool, right? And there's been countless stories of our customers that will tell you, we have exonerated people from accidents that weren't necessarily their fault, or we
Right.
had proof that someone actually did a certain action. So it's not just to the driver, just not just up to the driver, right? To have their words against someone else's. They have proof. They can check it. They can check the video. I was there. No, I did not side swipe your fence when I pulled in and delivered something or picked up something. So once folks come in and start understanding all the benefits, there's ton more that they gain as well. You have the liability of video, right? You can just always run back the footage and see exactly what happened. But then when you start adding that AI layer into a camera where you have in-cab coaching, you can let the driver know, please don't be on your phone. Please wear your seatbelt. Please follow the speed limit. There's many other departments from benefit from that kind of information.
Yeah, and I'll add in there, we've seen it when you start with just GPS tracking 10 years ago, like people were just amazed by that. Like this is,
Yeah.
oh, I can see where my trucks are. There's a hard break. Like what was that driver doing? And then you realize it really opened up more questions. What were they doing?
What were they doing?
We don't
Yeah.
know. Is that driver really a poor driver? Things like that. We don't know all the situational awareness around that. And then we moved into video. And with forward-facing video, it was like, oh my gosh, this is 100 times better than just telematics, right? We still have the telematics GPS tracking, but now we can see where that truck was. And then we started seeing instances where there's things happening, and you have an accident where a truck rolls over, and it's like, well, what was happening in the cab? And so you thought you had the full story again with GPS to start, and then with forward-facing video, and then you add in the driver-facing video, and now you can see full circle and understand all what's going on, but you're still looking at things retroactively. Everything is sort of after the fact. And now with the machine vision AI capabilities, we can try to help those drivers in real time to avoid some unsafe conditions. One of the things that I've learned with working with Velocitor's customers is I get annoyed when I'm commuting to work. Every one of our users that are out driving a truck, making deliveries, making sales, they have a really tough job. Because first of all, they're running a dolly or a forklift out of the back of a semi, and then they're dealing with the same traffic that I do on a 30-minute commute, but they're doing it for 8 to 10 hours
And then
a day.
everybody, when they want to merge in, uses the trucks to, including myself, I'm sorry to admit it, that they use that slowness on the hill to get into your to where you want to get to merge off. I always think I must drive
That's
them nuts.
exactly right. Yeah, and honestly, if you can start using a machine vision AI to start helping a driver prevent some things, whether it's we've seen where some of their operations is actually causing some of those distractions that cause accidents. They're maybe calling up, saying, stop number 5 wants to know when you're going to be there. Well, they're actually driving on the road to stop number 3, or they're sending them text messages.
Right.
So we've developed tools within VTrack to try to help with those operations, right? Being able to see them in real time to understand, can I communicate with them now? Using the camera for two-way communication so that they're not having to look at a phone. Things like that. It's really exciting to use.
Yeah, I mean, those types of things are, I mean, that's amazing. You can steal my idea if you want, if it hasn't already been used. But no, and it's actually quite a serious thing. Where I grew up, there is basically it's in sort of a valley. So truckers come down and then they leave, and so there's two different hills and there's one specific where there has been. It's very common that you have accidents in that one stretch. And I mean, that's a ton of accidents. The same, you wind down, I'm assuming they come into that hill too quick is what generally would happen. Do you have features like that where it will warn of certain areas that are at risk?
So what we do is we have the ability to geofence specific parts, and we can send notifications if a truck enters that. We've had those specific scenarios where a certain stretch of highway there are just multiple fatalities a year, and that business's warehouse, that would be your typical approach, but they teach their drivers that they do not travel on that section of highway.
Yeah.
And so they'll set up a geofence to get a notification to make sure that that doesn't happen. Right. But that real time focus, that's what we're working on, is to be able to alert drivers of some of those things so they don't make the mistake as well.
Yeah, that's an amazing. Maybe I should ask my family if there's been as many accidents. I wonder if people are using that more, because it was. I mean, like it wasn't once a year. Like it was. There was. We would leave work and we'd wait in a line while they pulled the semi off the side of the highway, like over and over
right.
again. So
Well, and I think just to say one more thing, for that
Yeah.
machine vision AI, we really hope to coach the drivers in real time so that you change behaviors.
right,
Right. I
yeah,
think it's so common now when you're driving to hear a ding or a buzz to want to pick it up.
yeah,
And so we understand that that's the driver, the same way we are when we're sitting at our desk. The drivers, that's their desk. That's
Yeah.
where they're working. And
Yeah.
so if we can just tell them in real time, put your phone down, no phone call, and they do it, that's great. The system did its job. Like there's no need to really follow up with them on that. But then you have a driver who just continues to use it. That's when we'll start using that AI reporting to build out coaching algorithms
yeah.
to say, here's your driver, you need to speak to them about this. And it just helps full circle. But if we see it when you put these cameras in a new client and you start turning these alerts on, you'll start seeing that trend go down.
Yeah.
Just from the in-cab coaching piece of it.
Yeah, it's like when you get in the car, the new cars now all have they coach you how to get maximum fuel efficiency, and it's pretty. You're like, oh, okay, I'm not in that much of a rush. Ease up, it just instinctively
yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
That I want to go back to that other feature of, especially if management is messaging that it. So is it the person sending the message sees that it's not the right time to message them, or is it actually delaying the message so that the driver just doesn't get that notification until they reach the right point? I'm just curious how it's actually set up.
Sure. I'll take it if it's all right.
Yeah.
So we have multiple ways. First of all, within the field services software, we can have a message center built in that's similar to email for a corporate worker, where we can send a message specific to a stop. So when they arrive, the first thing that's brought up in the software is that message to say, oh, you need, they need an extra case of something, for this delivery. It's been added to your invoice.
Right.
But the piece that I think you were specifically asking about is being able to communicate with the driver via the camera. What we do is we allow them to see the person in real time, see the environment they're in, right? They could be trying to take a left turn when it's at a yield or something. So maybe it's not the best time to talk to Bob.
Yeah.
Let's let them finish this, right? But then once you see they're in a safe spot, you can message them, whether it's typing, text to speech, or actually talk to them via an intercom feature and tell Bob that, this is dispatch. I need to talk to you when you get to your next stop. And Bob can either talk back to you so you can hear him, or he can just visually, because you can see their response and give you a thumbs up, and you're able to confirm that when Bob gets to his next stop, he'll reach out to you.
It's such an interesting feature, and that I want to jump over now, Rudy. I'm wondering. I've done sales training and everything as well. So much of it is learn what the client needs, but then there's
Right.
the other side: is the client doesn't always know. Like I didn't know that feature existed. I didn't know there was
Right.
geofencing for that area. Like now, if I was a fleet manager, if I was in the area that I'm talking about, the first thing I would do is make sure every driver was slowing down in that area so that we just never had the accidents. Because it's not just the drivers, it's the people. I mean, many people have gotten killed on that stretch. So it's sometimes the knowledge base to just, you don't know what you don't know. Where is
Right.
your role in that well, we need this, but in the conversation, I'm sure you identify quite often, well, no, what you actually need is this and this.
Yeah, so I think part of that is knowing and understanding the product, right? And
Yeah.
we know our products very well, and we know what the capabilities are. But also is all the different features that we offer at Velocitor is knowing how they specifically apply to different companies. Now, what's really been fun over probably the last, I would say, 3 years, is that the customers we talk to, the folks we work with all the time, they know what they want, and they know what the features of these systems are.
Okay.
Right. We are in a mature market. I think earlier it was, you would throw up, like Jim said, GPS tracking on. It was very, very impressive because most folks we talk to every single day, they weren't even familiar with everything that's there. Well, now most folks we work with, they come to shows like this and they really learn all the different technologies that exist and the different ways to solve various problems.
Mhm.
So we're getting, we're work, you work with a smaller company where you have an owner that is responsible for many different things, wear many different hats. At that point, we have more education to do. However, when we're talking to larger companies, fleet managers, they know what they want, they know
Yeah.
what exists out there and what exactly they're looking for. So at that point, it is our job to explain to them what makes us different, and what kind of value we can provide them that our competitors can't, and so on.
Yeah, and I think I'll just add on to that. I think we put as much value into marketing for new customers as we do communication with current customers.
Yeah.
That's right.
So as new features are coming out, whether it's sales or the project management team are communicating things to them. And one of the things for me, for our project managers is they have to understand our client and our solution. So they should know what that client does, how they use our solution, and what else they do. And that's just through weekly meetings, with their contacts. And part of it is just some of the history of our rollout with that customer. So we can introduce things to them, and they may want to try it out, or they may say that's not for us, and that's okay. But also putting out release notes, different, updating on features, that new features are available. So that internal communication, or maybe not internal, but it's for our communication to our current clients is just as important as marketing, trying to get new clients.
Just a side note, and do you ever have suggestions? Like someone like me comes in and goes, "Hey, we need this," and I really don't know anything about what I'm talking about. But or just even internally teams that maybe there is a really good idea for a product, that would actually work, but it would be hard to get people to onboard it or hard to integrate it. I guess what I'm asking is, how do you sort of pick and choose where the company puts their efforts in development? Because I'm sure it takes a lot of time, like you said, a year to roll out a product. It's a huge expense in R&D and all that.
Yeah.
What is that process like?
So I can tell you that the best way we found over the years is understanding our clients and their needs and the projects they're working on. That drives our product innovation more than anything. And I think if you look at the tech industry as a whole, right, that's the mistakes that happen sometimes. People come up with features and they go, okay, this would be good. They put it out and it never hits.
Yes.
It never,
Yep.
and you go talk to customers and they're like, okay, that's good conceptually, but here's why this would never work in real life or in a real use case. So we really lean on our customers, and making sure that we really talk to them and understand what their problems currently are. And what's really been interesting is it happens kind of collectively. Most of our clients seem to be looking for similar things at similar times. And that allows us the opportunity to address those needs with solutions, with products, with new features of our software, to make sure that we can offer it to them at the time they're looking for it.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. I think it's a collaborative approach internally we take to understand when requests come in. It could be, with Rudy and the sales group coming in, some of our operations folks, my product team, to understand exactly what is the request and how could this affect some of our other users and how can we make it fit so that it's a broader solution, so it's not so single focused. And I think we've just done well to be able to plan that out and communicate with our clients to get the right fit.
Right. I just want to paraphrase what you're saying a little bit because I think it's an important thing is that sometimes the idea, that very specific idea on its own isn't strong enough to warrant that kind of investment. But if you can find a way to sort of integrate it into a bigger delivery, then it becomes
Right.
a valuable thing.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think, I'll add some of the things with 2024. I know AI is a big phrase and we're talking about machine vision AI from technology within a camera, but we're introducing AI within our website as well. So we can now start seeing how people are utilizing it. We always have had analytics, but now we can be forward thinking and understand, like, are you having trouble with this? And using chatbot tools and things to help customers and actually complete things for them instead of having to go through and add a user and go through the actual UI to do it. We can have AI tools do that for them. Oh, you want to add a user? Please let me know these fields and I will add that user for you. And ask questions about that. What user group do they need to, what role-based access? So we're going to start, that's in development now and that'll be added throughout 2024. with increasing abilities through it, and we're really excited about that.
You know, this is you're touching on another interesting thing that, I know there's people that don't agree with me on this, but I think when I see AI, my argument for it is there's, of course, someone's going to use it for something that they shouldn't have used it, but people will
Of
do that
course,
with absolutely everything. So that's not really a,
100%.
a fair argument. I see AI as something that is actually going to make us more human. Because if you're in a truck and you can't communicate with somebody and you don't know when to communicate properly, that's actually a very unnatural setup. As opposed to us sitting here just talking. You know exactly when, you can take cues. You can't do that when you're communicating via, let's say, a phone. And AI is actually allowing us to be able to understand what's going on with something, like you're saying, on your website. You can now understand how people are actually using it without sitting there
Right.
looking over their shoulder watching. I've done website development, and it's amazing how you think someone's going to use something, and then you
And
look
how
over
it
their
happens.
shoulder
Yeah.
and you're like, the button's right. No, you missed it again. It's right. No, you missed it again. And you start to
Yeah.
realize, okay, it needs to be about 2 inches over, and now they got it. Or it needs to be red instead of blue, whatever it is. It
Yeah.
really allows you to sort of humanize people's experiences that 5 years ago, you just hoped the design team did it right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, with technology overall, you can't just keep throwing more and more features at something,
Right.
and some of them are used, some are not. I think when you get a lot of good feedback and a lot of understanding how things work, then you add that machine vision element into it, where we can actually track it. It helps you create better products for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
Yeah,
going to be amazing.
I think people are afraid of AI now,
Yeah.
right? I mean, after the last couple of years, all the news and things, and I think I see it from this industry as it's just going to supplement and help
Yeah.
Yeah.
our users, right? It's a tool. It's not going to replace people. It's not going to replace functions. It's a tool to help.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think from everything I've heard in all across, because we do episodes in mining, energy, construction, agriculture. I have not heard anything about people being replaced. I'm hearing them trying to make it better environment so that people will actually come work in these industries. So I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
think
We
that's the
we
issue.
asked that question to a couple of our large customers, and what they tell us is that if they automated 40% of their workforce with robotics, and different things, they would still be short staffed. I mean, you talk to
Oh yeah.
anyone at the show, that is their number one challenge, is staffing, finding skilled workers, finding folks that can do things. So, I agree. It's going to be very, very helpful. We're very excited and we look forward to the future of all the new features that will be out there.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I would say, like, you talk about fleet. I mean, delivery now is just at a whole. You get companies like Amazon. I mean, I live pretty close to one of where their fleets are. I mean, the
Yeah.
fleet is massive. Like, it is a
Yeah.
massive fleet, and that's probably just one of many. Actually, no, they have two facilities on both sides of me, and this is in.
Yeah.
I'm not even in a huge city,
Yeah.
and so the I can just imagine now you're getting new drivers. Just you're trying to get
Right.
as many drivers as you can.
Right.
Programs like yours, again, those dangerous areas, getting messages, getting distracted, all that stuff becomes a little bit safer in an industry now that is just. I mean, they're just trying to pour in as many drivers as they can. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
crazy environment out there.
So let's talk about that for a minute. Home delivery, right? So home delivery has been growing for many, many years. And even during the pandemic, I mean, what you saw during that time is all the retail was shut down. You couldn't go out and buy anything. And now all of a sudden you had people ordering things that usually would have gone to, name it, Walmart, Costco, in any of those
Yeah.
stores, and just went out. So now you had my grandparents who figured out how to order things on the internet,
Yeah.
and now there's being cases of Mountain Dew and paper towels being dropped off, when before that was a drive. So now you have more drivers, you have more vehicles in neighborhoods, you
Yeah.
have more issues with that. So now you got inexperienced drivers that may have not driven before. They're driving very heavy, large, expensive vehicles with ton of inventory, and they need to deliver to the right address at the appropriate time efficiently. So this is where we address a lot of those needs. One of them is through a mobile system that does proof of delivery. So you see all the customers where they are. You make it very easy to train the driver to show them how to use the system. They go in, they scan the barcode, drop off the package, collect the signature, and then they go on about their day. Then you got the camera and fleet management element of knowing where the vehicle is, making sure that the driver is doing the correct things. They have in-cab coaching, and they learn all the ways to properly drive that vehicle. You have the liability aspect of it. So you've got cameras facing the road, facing inside the vehicles. And now we're doing 360 cameras as well. So you can see out the rear, see out the sides. And they don't get those calls anymore. Hey, your truck ran over my basketball goal. Well, actually, it probably didn't, because we pulled the footage and that wasn't us, So all that with VTrack is under one platform,
Yeah.
one place to
Wow.
see all this information. So it makes it easier to manage, easier to deploy new drivers, easier to put them in the field where they don't have to go through an extensive and costly training program, and they're ready to be productive for the company. Quite a bit of turnover in that marketplace, and it's always easy to bring people on and put them on the right platform to make sure it works and does correctly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing time. Just quickly, well, the reason I was laughing is I was just thinking it'd be so embarrassing for someone who's trying to get like, a new toy for their kids, so they try to blame the driver,
Yeah.
and then it's on tape that they were the one who
You
ran
would
it
be
over.
surprised how much that happens.
I
It
might
is,
not
it
be.
is, yeah. We hear a lot of stories around that.
Yeah.
So,
Just before I let you go, deployment. I just wanted to sort of
Yeah.
clarify when you're, small fleet, large fleet. What does deployment look like? What is an expectation people should have if they're, watching this episode? They go to your website and they want to start the process.
Okay, so for us, the deployment, we usually work with a customer, figure out what they need, we agree on a price, we execute an agreement. At that point, we can, there's a couple of things that need to happen. We need to set up the system and we need to install it in their trucks. So we have our own internal install team, that does a wonderful job, and they travel the country. They go where they need to go to make sure that every single device is properly installed. So we go in, we bring in the equipment. We wire it to where it's neat, perfect. You can't see anything. You just see the camera. There's no hanging loose wires, anything. It's there. It's tested. It's working. We get it out. We get them rolling on it. We provide all the training documentation they need to show their drivers, to have videos on how to do it. And then they're out and running. So the next part of deployment is, once you're out there, you got to make sure this equipment works long term. The worst thing in our industry that can happen is if you do have an event, let's say you have an accident or something. Oh, well, that camera has been offline for several months now.
Yeah.
So we have our own internal support team that is available to our customers 24/7, 365. Those folks are there. They always pick up the phone. They will always take a chat message through a chat feature within our system. So there's multiple ways to communicate with them, and they say, hey, our system's down, doesn't work. So we immediately get them back up online. And if we do have equipment failures, we have an entire staff whose job it is to get them a backup, get them a spare that is hot, ready, activated. They can just put it in and hit the ground running. It's every aspect to make sure that that it works. We have a proactive team that monitors to see if this equipment, it's like, hey, you have a truck online that hasn't been working for 5 days. Why is that? Well, it's in service. Okay, good. We just want to make sure you know that, So there's different metrics and reports and internal efforts to make sure that our customers are up, that they're working, that the mobile systems they have, they get help with if they don't know how to do it, or if the driver has questions. We also get into managed services of the actual hardware, which is going to be your phones, your rugged equipment, your tablets, whatever happens to be there. We will sell those. We will deploy them when the driver receives them. They're not pulling them out of the box. They're ready to go. They're working. They can just log in and they can hit the ground running.
Right.
So deployment and sustainability, we put a ton of investment and ton of effort to training our internal staff to make sure that they know how to do it and to make it very, very easy for our clients. Because that is the number one challenge. You talk to anyone here, they'll tell you, we like the system. We don't know how to deploy it, how to get it out.
Right.
So we give them everything necessary to make it easy.
Yeah, it is the whole game, because we've tried to onboard stuff, and as soon as it gets glitchy, you're just done, because it gets so much confusion with there's too many people, there's too many variables.
That's right. Yeah. And that's really a big separator, right, for us, and I would say our competition, because you can go order a camera anywhere, right? You can order one and it'll get shipped to you. But okay, great, I got it now. It's in a box. What do I do with it? Yeah. So we provide all that effort to help to make sure our customers use it. And we stay involved in our customers' projects and needs to make sure that they're seeing value of what they purchased, but also to address their upcoming needs.
Yeah, I think you mentioned sustainability, right?
Yeah.
That's really the key. I think, you talked about Rudy's history with the company, but doing enterprise software for mission critical needs for companies, we've learned, we use that experience, that you have to have a sustainable solution.
That's right.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been fun, actually. We've covered so many different things on this show, and every time I have a new company on, there's another layer that you learn.
Right.
It's like I'm getting a free. Well, technically, I'm getting paid to get an education, I guess.
Yeah, we love it, and we appreciate you having us on. It's always good to talk to you guys, and
Hopefully, we
good
do it
thing.
again.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do it.
Thank you very
all.
much.
Okay,
Yep.
have a great show at World of Concrete. Yesterday, it looked really busy. Is it busy there
Yeah,
today?
it is today. There's quite a few people around.
Okay,
so
well, I'll
we're
let you gentlemen
looking
get
forward
back
to
to it
talking
then.
to everyone.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
right.
We'll see you on the
Thank you
next
very much.
episode.
Thank you.
Take care.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. We will put, of course, links to Velocitor, and they've got a separate website. Let me just check what that is. That's, my apologies, I should have had that ready. That's vtrack.com. So we'll have links to both websites on there, so you can go check that out. Make sure to do that, and we will see you on the next episode of The Construction Show.